Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another experiment where today we're taking a look at a non-league club with £1 billion. Of course, it's a classic experiment. If you want to see more stuff like this, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel for all this sort of stuff. But let's jump into it. Grimsby Town, they have been given £1 billion in their bank balance. So it's up to them how they want to spend it, what they want to do. And it's time for us to see how they get on. So let's jump ahead and take a look. So we're a year on from where we started. Let's take a look at how they finished in the league. So to start with, it looks like they finished in 8th place. Season preview wise, they were predicted to come in 4th, having just been relegated from the Football League. So not quite what they'd have hoped. If we take a look at their bank balance, though, using the info sheet, we can see a lot of money has gone out. What that's on, I have no idea. They're valued at £1.5 billion. So a lot of money. Obviously, Rich predicted 4th. With that, let's take a look at transfers. So they have spent £145,000. Most money being spent on Devante Rodney and Harvey Saunders from Bristol Rovers. But there are a few more in there that have also been bought, like Dempsey Arlott John from Mikolova, Zen Mohammed, Danny Reynolds, Callum Gribbin, Michael Efete from Wealdstone. So there's a few players in there. A few have also been sold, like Matty Pollock, Felipe Moraes, and Sean Scannell. But not a fantastic start. We'll be interested to see if the money that they've been given can take them any further, or is that it? Have they already lost the opportunity to get promoted straight back into the Premier League? It's time to find out. Let's jump ahead again and take a look. All right, so here we are then. We are 3 years on, so we're in 2025, so we've given them a few years. Looks like they're still in the Vanarama National League, as we see, Marl Jedinak being the manager of the club. If we take a look at the bank balance, that's dropped again to £577 million this time. So they are going down. Their wage bill of £160,000 a week. That is a lot of money, and an average wage of £1,900 as well. We'll have to see how things have gone. They were predicted to come first. It looks like they might have actually only come 4th, which means, again, they haven't got that promotion. If we take a look at their history, though, we can see that it does just look like they've unfortunately missed out every time. They've hit the playoffs the last 3 years, but that money hasn't been quite enough to get them over the line going forward. Let's take a look at their transfer history, though, and see what sort of dealings they've done. So we obviously saw initially that one, 24,000 was only spent in the next one, but they have brought in a lot of free players, the likes of Caelan Hines, Jack Senior, Daniel Chesters, in there as well. Then if we move on again, £325,000. Jake Young from Forest Green being the big one. Tristan Nidam and Morgan Feeney, as well as Alex Pritchard, who's a bit of a name if you know about the lower leagues. Gabriel Osho as well, who's a decent footballer that I've seen in the game as well. So they are spending money. Another £325,000, this time for Will Kokolo, Max Dickey, Lewis Ward, Elliot Osborne, Nathaniel Mendes-Lang from Oxford. So a good few players again, but it doesn't look like it's been quite enough for them. As we said, they're kind of loitering around the playoffs, but not enough to get them up. Marl Jedinak being the most recent manager. Have they changed things much? Paul Hurst was there for 4 years, where he then left the manager role, with Marl Jedinak only recently starting. So it'd be interesting to see how his kind of career goes with Grimsby, how long that takes, and kind of how things go. So let's jump ahead again, see if they continue to lose money or if they can finally make it to the Football League. And with another 5 years gone, we can see they have finally made it. They're actually in League One, so higher than just reaching the league. And we can also see that Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang is now the manager. Some interesting developments, that's for sure. Let's take a look, though, firstly at the league. So how did they get on this season? We can see that they, in fact, finished 18th. So they managed to hold on in League One, which is good to see. Looks like they might be developing there. Then if we look at the history, we can see very quickly they were able to get that promotion following that, winning the league. and straight away getting second in League 2 meant they got the promotion up to League 1. A bit of a drop from last season, having finished 10th, but not a bad result really when you think about it, having just come up over the last couple of years. So that's very, very good. If we look at the transfer history, though, let's jump back 5 years to get to a point where we've seen. So, didn't spend anything the year after we last saw them, but then £1.1 million was spent on a bunch of players bringing into the side. That is likely actually because they've got promoted to the Football League. Thinking about it now, Dave Monroe was the only player that they spent any money on, really, other than some loans. To bring in a couple of players, still not bringing in much money otherwise. And we can also see again in 29-30, Ed Turns and Vince Sockett, the only two players being spent money on, but a shed load of players actually at the club from free transfers. Let's take a look at the managers. So what happened? So we saw Marl Jedinak actually got sacked after 4 years, after what looks like them winning the Vanarama National League. Following that, that's when Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang got hired as manager, which is an interesting one, that's for sure. Would be interesting to see. He's on £10,000 a week as well, so it's a good chunk of money they're spending on him. It looks like they have updated their training facilities and youth facilities. And to be fair, their junior coaching and youth recruitment has also been upgraded. By how much? Not much at all. But they have certainly put it into the infrastructure of the club, which is good. Their bank's balance is 521, so it's actually not doing too badly, to be fair, having kind of come back into things. £145,000 wage bill, though, and an average wage of £2,000 means they have cut down the squad a little bit from that as well. But there you go. Let's jump one more time and take a look how they kind of finish things off. And here we are, 5 years on from the last time we saw them. They're still in League 1. Will Grigg now manager. So they've swapped one striker out for another. We'll have to see how that's come about. Looking at the finances, they've still got 400 million in the bank. £165,000 on wages, so that's gone up, but still an average wage of 2,000. You can see the facilities have gone down slightly, I guess, just over time. That kind of does happen. Taking a look at how things have gone, though, they've kind of been a bit up and down in the league. It looks like they've reached the playoff once in League 1, but otherwise been kind of stooping down. Managers-wise, we can see that following that, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang left the managerial role. Andrew Robertson came in, was sacked only 152 days later. Then Michael Appleton, who again was sacked not even a year into the job. And finally, Will Grigg is back, is in charge now. Taking a look at transfer history, they're still spending money, $475,000 last year, 1.2 million, which I think is the most we've seen so far in the year before, there's a lot of players they're spending money on there. 1.4 the year before that as well. Dan Dadley being the 700k player that they brought in. Doesn't look too bad, to be fair, at the club. £4,400 a week, though, is a lot of money. And again, more players being brought in. Ryan Elliott there being brought in. Will Lancashire, Jake Tuhoy, Carl Baker. Lots of free transfers coming into the club. Lewis Lee as well, as you can see, being bought in from Plymouth. So they are spending money. It's a lot of money being spent, but they're slowly climbing up the leads, that's for sure, and slowly getting to the point where they can reach the possibly championship. We'd have to see, but we will leave it there for now. If you did enjoy the video, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Let me know if you want to see a part 2 and we can go a few more years on. But with that, we will leave it there. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.